I'm sure that the results of any referendum will be influenced by if this agreement is supported by all the Palestinian factions or not. And if any peace agreement will be supported by Fatah and Hamas, I am sure that it will be accepted by the people in any referendum, because both Hamas and the Fatah will be active in trying to make people vote positively. If there will be a split between Fatah and Hamas, and each of them will try to convince the people to vote different than the other, I don't think that the referendum will succeed. So this is also an indication how much important to maintain the Palestinian unity and to have unified leadership, and unified decision, and a unified national program. One of the reasons that our youth were not very influential is the fact that we realize that our contradiction is not with the leadership. And if the youth in Egypt or in Syria or in Tunis or in Libya or other places are fed up with their regime and they want to change their regime, in our case, the contradiction is not with the regime. Our main contradiction is with the occupation. And therefore, if the youth wants to be really active and involved in changing the situation, they will be, or they should move towards ending the occupation. If in Egypt they say that the people want to end the regime or bring down the regime, then our slogan should be the people want to end the occupation. It seems to me that this was in some way mentioned by some activists, how to start moving towards passive resistance to end the occupation, and I don't know how things developed in the direction of ending the division and not ending the occupation. I don't want to use the conspiracy theory, but I would say that maybe the time did not come. Maybe this may happen after September. If we fail in the United Nations and the United Nations do not help us to be accepted as a member and to help us to end the occupation, then we have to go back to square one and think how to end the occupation by ourselves. And this could be by different means and methods.
Michael.
My name is Michael Thomas. Thank you so much. This has been very enlightening. In the debates about the nature of Hamas, some have argued that a really important distinction is that they are not global jihadists, that they are a Islam-based national independence movement, and that there's a big difference in terms of how you think about them based on that. And yet this week, a statement was attributed to Mr. Haniyeh lauding Osama bin Laden as a Muslim and Arab warrior, essentially identifying with a man who led a global jihadist movement. Now, aside from the timing, which was wretched, what effect does this identification have? I mean, I know you're not here speaking for Hamas, sir, but can you give us any insight as to why he would say that and what effect it might have?
Thank you. I think that Haniyeh statement about bin Laden was the most miserable comment which I could hear coming from an Arab side or a Palestinian side about the killing of someone who killed thousands of people. And everyone was expecting or wishing to see an end for him. So to come and say that he is a martyr, I honestly, it was disgusting. Now, it also indicates that there are still some people within Hamas or within the Islamic movement who are not totally free from trying to satisfy their local groups or their still some fundamentalist groups on their side. And if Haniya was a leader, a national leader, or a real leader of Hamas movement, he should have been aware that it's not right to say this thing. Now, Mash'al did not say anything in this regard. So you can see that Khalid Mash'al, who was the head of the Politburo of Hamas, he did not comment on bin Laden killing, while Haniya made that statement. Now, don't try to grab such things, and because they don't count, and people do not listen to them. So I don't think that it has any value. Now, about the Muslim brothers and Hamas, I think yesterday I read an interview with Rashik from Hamas movement with a newspaper in Egypt, Kull al-Arab, I think, or Al-Yawm al-Saba. He said that we are a local resistance movement which want to achieve the liberation of our people. And it's true that we are associated with the Muslim Brothers movement, but we came to the conclusion that each Muslim brother group in any Arab country has the right to decide on the kind of relation it wants with their own government. And we are not part of the global Muslim Brothers movement. We are a Palestinian local movement.
Question over here, and then let's take one other question. We'll have some others later. Yes, sir?
Norton Bezvinsky, International Council for Middle East Studies. You stated that if the political effort in the United Nations fails this fall, that then Palestinians will have to and will consider other methods. I wonder if you could specify a bit more what you think those other methods might be and can be practically.
Well, first of all, I don't decide on behalf of the Palestinian people. I'm not one of whom make the decisions. But my basic argument is that Israel should feel that this occupation is a burden on it. Israel should feel that they are paying a price for this occupation. Excuse me?
They haven't felt it yet.
No, actually, this occupation is a source of revenue for Israel. They are collecting taxes on the bridges. They are collecting money from the Palestinian Authority. They are taking our land. They are taking our water resources. They are destroying our environment, and they are happy. Nobody hold them account for what they are doing against our people. Now, to make Israel pay the price for this occupation, it could be a political price. By pressure exerted in Israel by the international community. It could be as a result of a passive, peaceful resistance of Palestinian masses against the Israelis. It could be economical sanctions on Israel. And at the end, if nothing works, it could be a blood price.